Introduction. What if I told you that right now, as you're listening to this, 1 in 4 adults worldwide might be carrying a silent killer in their liver, a disease so stealthy it could be destroying your organ for years without a single symptom? Welcome to Rooted Health Revival, the podcast that brings you groundbreaking medical discoveries that could change your life. I'm your host, and before we dive into today's potentially life-saving information, I want to personally invite you to hit that subscribe button and share this episode with someone you care about. Trust me, by the end of our time together, you'll understand why this could be one of the most important health conversations you'll hear this year. Today, we're exploring a revolutionary breakthrough that's giving new hope to over 100 million Americans living with a condition they might not even know they have. We're talking about metabolic dysfunction-associated Steatohepatitis, or MASH, and the first-of-its-kind treatment that could change everything.
Part 1. The Silent Epidemic. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine your liver, that incredible 3-pound organ working tirelessly to filter toxins, produce proteins, and store energy. Now imagine it slowly accumulating fat and becoming inflamed, scarring over time, potentially leading to cirrhosis, liver failure, or even cancer. The terrifying part? You might feel completely fine while this is happening. This is the reality of MASH, formerly known as non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, or NASH. Dr. Rohit Loomba from the University of California San Diego School of Medicine, who leads the charge in MASH research, calls it a silent disease because it can progress for years without symptoms. The statistics are staggering and deeply personal. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 100 million people in the United States alone have some form of fatty liver disease. Think about that for a moment. That's nearly 1/3 of our entire population. Globally, as many as 1 in 4 adults may be affected. You could be sitting next to someone right now who has this condition and doesn't know it. But here's what makes this particularly concerning. MASH isn't just about having a fatty liver. It's intrinsically connected to the modern health epidemics we're already battling: obesity and type 2 diabetes. As our waistlines have expanded and our blood sugar levels have risen, our livers have been paying a devastating price. The disease process is insidious. Fat accumulates in liver cells, triggering inflammation that over time leads to scarring or fibrosis. If left unchecked, this progression can result in cirrhosis, essentially a liver so scarred it can barely function. From there, the path leads to liver failure and the need for a transplant, or worse, liver cancer. What's particularly heartbreaking is that many people only discover they have advanced liver disease when it's almost too late. They might go for a routine blood test or imaging study for something completely unrelated, only to learn their liver is in serious trouble. By then, the damage may be irreversible. This silent progression is why MASH has become such a critical focus for researchers worldwide. Unlike other liver diseases that might have clear warning signs or obvious causes, MASH operates in the shadows of our metabolic health, intertwined with conditions that millions of people are already struggling to manage.
Part 2. The breakthrough discovery. Now, here's where our story takes a dramatic turn toward hope. Scientists at UC San Diego School of Medicine have developed what could be the first treatment of its kind to truly tackle MASH at its biological roots. And I want to be crystal clear about the scientific rigor behind this discovery. This isn't preliminary research or wishful thinking. These findings were published in The Lancet, one of the world's most prestigious medical journals, representing the gold standard of scientific validation. The breakthrough centers around a drug called ION224, and its mechanism of action is nothing short of brilliant in its precision. Let me explain this in a way that makes sense. Your liver produces and stores fat through various biochemical pathways. One of the key enzymes in this process is called DGAT2. Think of it as a critical switch that controls how much fat gets packed into your liver cells. Dr. Rohit Loomba, who serves as the chief of the Division of Gastroenterology and Hepatology at UC San Diego School of Medicine, explained the significance. By blocking DGAT2, we're interrupting the disease process at its root cause, stopping fat accumulation and inflammation right in the liver. This approach represents a fundamental shift in how we think about treating MASH. Instead of trying to manage the consequences of the disease, ION224 targets the underlying mechanism that drives both fat accumulation and inflammation, the two primary contributors to liver damage in MASH patients. The clinical trial itself was meticulously designed and executed. This Phase 2b study enrolled 160 adults across multiple centers in the United States, all diagnosed with MASH and showing early to moderate fibrosis. The participants received monthly injections over the course of a full year, some receiving varying doses of ION224, others receiving a placebo, to ensure the results were truly due to the drug's effect. Here's where the results become truly exciting. At the highest dose tested, 60% of patients experienced significant improvements in their liver health compared to those who received the placebo. Let me put that in perspective. We're talking about more than half of the patients showing measurable, meaningful improvement in a condition that, until now, had very limited treatment options. But perhaps even more remarkable is what these improvements represent. We're not just talking about minor changes in blood tests. These patients showed actual biological improvements in their liver tissue, reductions in fat accumulation and inflammation that could halt or even reverse the progression towards cirrhosis and liver failure. What makes this discovery even more promising is its potential for combination therapy. The benefits were observed regardless of changes in body weight, indicating that ION224 could work alongside other treatments for obesity and diabetes, meaning patients wouldn't have to choose between different approaches to their metabolic health. They could potentially benefit from multiple therapeutic strategies working together.
Part 3. Hope for millions and future implications. The implications of this breakthrough extend far beyond the laboratory and into the lives of millions of people worldwide. For patients and families who have been living with the uncertainty and fear that comes with progressive liver disease, these results represent something they may have thought impossible: genuine hope for a treatment that could change their trajectory. Dr. Loomba emphasized this human impact. This is the first drug of its kind to show real biological impact in MASH. If these findings are confirmed in Phase 3 trials, we may finally be able to offer patients a targeted therapy that halts and potentially reverses liver damage before it progresses to life-threatening stages. Think about what this means on a personal level. Imagine you're someone who's been told you have MASH, knowing that your liver is slowly deteriorating, facing the possibility of eventually needing a transplant or developing liver cancer. Now imagine being offered a treatment that could actually stop that progression and potentially reverse some of the damage. That's not just medical progress, that's life-changing hope. The safety profile of ION224 adds another layer of optimism. Throughout the year-long study, researchers reported no serious side effects attributable to the drug. This is crucial because any long-term treatment needs to be not just effective, but safe enough for patients to continue using it over extended periods. From a broader public health perspective, the potential impact is enormous. The healthcare burden of advanced liver disease is staggering. Liver transplants are complex, expensive procedures with limited organ availability. Managing complications from cirrhosis requires ongoing medical care, hospitalizations, and specialized treatments. By intervening earlier in the disease process, ION224 could help prevent countless patients from progressing to these costly and complex stages of illness. Dr. Loomba highlighted this broader impact. Early intervention and targeted therapies may also help reduce the burden on healthcare systems by preventing costly and complex liver disease down the line. But let's also talk about what this breakthrough means for the future of metabolic health. MASH doesn't exist in isolation. It's part of a cluster of related conditions, including obesity, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease.
A treatment that can effectively address the liver component of this metabolic syndrome could pave the way for more comprehensive, integrated approaches to these interconnected health challenges. The research also represents a validation of precision medicine approaches. Rather than trying to treat MASH with broad, general interventions, ION224 targets a specific molecular pathway. This success could encourage the development of other precision treatments for various aspects of metabolic dysfunction. Looking ahead, the next step is Phase 3 clinical trials, larger studies designed to confirm these promising results and move closer to making this treatment widely available to patients. These trials will involve more participants across more locations, providing additional data on both effectiveness and safety. For the millions of people currently living with MASH, many of whom don't even know they have the condition, this research brings new urgency to the importance of screening and early detection. If we have a treatment that can halt progression, identifying the disease before it advances becomes even more critical. Part 4. Taking action for your liver health. As we wrap up today's exploration of this groundbreaking research, I want to shift our focus to what this means for you personally. Whether you're someone who's been diagnosed with MASH, concerned about your metabolic health, or simply interested in protecting your liver for the long term, there are important steps you can take right now. First, let's talk about awareness and screening. Given that MASH is called a silent disease, many people who have it remain undiagnosed until the condition has already progressed significantly. If you have risk factors, particularly obesity, type 2 diabetes, or metabolic syndrome, it's crucial to discuss liver health with your healthcare provider. Simple blood tests can reveal elevated liver enzymes that might indicate liver inflammation or damage. More advanced imaging studies can detect fat accumulation and fibrosis. The connection between MASH and metabolic health also means that many of the lifestyle interventions that benefit diabetes and weight management can also support liver health. Regular physical activity, for instance, has been shown to reduce liver fat and inflammation. A Mediterranean-style diet rich in healthy fats, lean proteins, and antioxidant-rich vegetables can support both metabolic and liver health. But here's what's particularly exciting about the ION224 research. It suggests that we may soon have targeted treatments that can work alongside these lifestyle interventions. This doesn't mean lifestyle changes become less important. Rather, it means we may be able to achieve even better outcomes by combining behavioral changes with precision medical treatments. For healthcare providers listening to this podcast, this research underscores the importance of screening patients with metabolic risk factors for liver disease. Early identification of MASH could become even more critical as effective treatments become available. The research also highlights the importance of staying informed about medical advances. The landscape of metabolic disease treatment is evolving rapidly, with new therapeutic targets and treatment approaches emerging regularly. What seemed impossible just a few years ago, a targeted treatment for MASH, is now moving toward reality. As we look toward the future, this breakthrough represents more than just a new drug. It represents a shift in how we think about treating complex, chronic diseases. Instead of accepting progressive deterioration as inevitable, we're learning to intervene at the molecular level to halt and reverse disease processes. For the estimated 1 in 4 adults worldwide who may be affected by some form of fatty liver disease, this research offers something precious: hope. Hope that their condition doesn't have to progress to liver failure. Hope that they might be able to reverse some of the damage that's already occurred. Hope that the future of liver health looks brighter than ever before.
Closing. As we conclude today's episode, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey through one of the most exciting medical breakthroughs of our time. The research we've discussed today, published in The Lancet by Dr. Rohit Loomba and his team at UC San Diego School of Medicine, represents genuine hope for millions of people worldwide living with MASH and related metabolic conditions. If today's episode has opened your eyes to the importance of liver health or given you hope about emerging treatments, I encourage you to take action.
Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future episodes where we'll continue exploring medical breakthroughs that could change your life. Share this episode with friends and family members who might benefit from learning about MASH and liver health. You never know whose life you might impact. Leave us a comment sharing your thoughts about today's discussion or topics you'd like us to explore in future episodes. Your engagement helps us create content that truly serves our community's needs and interests. Remember, staying informed about medical advances isn't just about satisfying curiosity. It's about empowering yourself and your loved ones to make better health decisions and advocate for the best possible care. Until next time, stay curious, stay healthy, and keep listening to Rooted Health Revival, where breakthrough science meets everyday wellness. Important medical disclaimer. Before we part ways, I must emphasize that the information shared in today's podcast is for educational purposes only and should never replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have concerns about your liver health or metabolic conditions, please consult with qualified healthcare professionals who can provide personalized guidance based on your individual circumstances. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Research reference: Loomba, R. Morgan, E. Yusufi, K. Lee, D. Geary, R. Bonat, S. and Alkuri, N. 2025, antisense oligonucleotide DGAT2 inhibitor ION224 for metabolic dysfunction-associated steatohepatitis, ION224CS2. Results of a 51-week, multi-center, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled Phase 2 trial. The Lancet, August 23, 2025. Study funding: Ionis Pharmaceuticals, ION2224CS2.